Good. You passed the first test. So a couple of things then to notice on this model. What's this? Testy. Good. What's this little thing here? That's the epididymis. Okay. It's always tough to find it on. It's actually kind of buried within here. But does anyone know what this whole thing is? The whole thing? That's the spermatic cord. Now inside of it, there's this thing going up, and it's a little. Sorry, I know I'm not giving you a good view here. Hold on a second. It's a little tough to see inside of the spermatic cord, but you start to see it up here coming across. Any idea what that thing is? Yeah, that's the vas deferens going down there. I'm not sure I'm even asking about this, but for the bonus point, what is this thing? Yeah, that's the ureter, right? Water flows under the bridge, right? So that's the ureter, okay? What's this thing here? That's the bladder, okay? What about this thing? That's the prostate, good. Any idea, this is cut a little bit, but any idea what that's supposed to be? That's the seminal vesicle, okay? Now this model, we can peel it back, and we'll remove it, I think, okay? If you look on the inside here, what do you suppose this little thing is right there? That's the ejaculatory duct. What's this whole thing here? Prostate. That's now the prostate that you can see, okay? What's this thing going through here?
Uterus.
Be specific. What is it?
Membranous?
That's the prostatic
prostate,
urethra,
right?
right?
Okay.
The urethra that goes through the prostate is called the prostatic urethra. So that's the prostatic urethra right there, okay? Notice how it connects up with the bladder, so that's why this is like a shared passageway. After the prostatic urethra, what this model doesn't show really well, but what do you suppose would be going through here? That's the membranous, or I think some other book says intermediate. Either one would be fine. Now, what's this thing? Penis, good, okay. This is the, what part of it? The glans penis, okay. Now, if you do a hemipenectomy, let's see here. Sorry about this, dude. All right, here we go. So here's the penis then on sort of a sagittal section. What would you call this tube here?
Urethra?
Yeah, that would now be called the spongy urethra, or you can also call it the penile urethra. Okay. What's the tissue here that's surrounding? It's the corpus. It's the corpus spongiosum that surrounds it. Okay. And it's erectile tissue, right? It's going to fill up with blood. Over here on this side, what do you suppose this is? That's the corpus cavernosum. That's also erectile tissue. There's two corpora cavernosa, and then below it, there's one corpus spongiosum, and in the middle of the corpus spongiosum is the penile urethra. Okay. All right. That's that. Let's see. Oh, this model. What else do I want to show you? This is a different male model. It's pretty big, but the only thing I wanted to show you on this model that you can't really see well on the other model is this little guy over here at number 8. Does anyone have a guess what that's supposed to represent? Yeah, that's the bulbourethral gland, okay, also known as Cowper's gland. You can't really see it on the other model that well. The other stuff you can pretty much see. Here's the female model. Okay. Let's see, things you should be able to find here. What's this again? That's the ovary, okay. Back here is, what's this thing? Fallopian tube. What are these little things here? Those are the fimbriae that are like telling the secondary os, like, get in here, you don't want to go into the abdominal cavity, come here. So that's right. What's this thing? That's the uterus, and then specifically, what would this part be?
Cervix.
That's the cervix, okay? Let's see, other stuff you can see in here, that's the cervix. On this little model, it's tough to see, but I think what they're trying to represent, what do you suppose this part of the uterus is? Yeah, that's supposed to be the endometrium, okay? What's this guy here? That's the vagina. Okay. What's this thing over here?
The bladder.
That's the bladder. What's this?
Urethra.
Urethra. Thank God you don't have to remember 3 parts of the urethra. It's just that one part of the urethra. Okay. This is the rectum back here. In terms of the vulva, you can see number 4 is supposed to represent, what do you suppose?
Major.
Labia majora.
Majora,
Number
sorry.
5 is labia minora, and then 6,
Clitoris.
that's the clitoris. Okay. This here would be the external urethral opening. All right. Microscope slides. Maybe. Okay. What's this? Don't all answer at once. What is it? Epididymis? Did somebody say it's the epididymis? Okay. All I can say is, the epididymis is this long tube that sits on top of the testy, and it has lots of twists and turns to it. Okay. So anytime you have a tube with lots of twists and turns to it, when you cut it on cross section, what you're going to see is a lot of circles. Okay. Anyway, sometimes students get this confused with the seminiferous tubules. I think the easiest way is to look just at the sharp edge of the cells that form the that form the epididymis. It's a very sharp edge. Also, the thickness of the wall of the epididymis, it's not really as thick as the walls of the seminiferous tubules. Okay. The hollow inside part of any organ in the body, the hollow inside part of something is called the what? The lumen. All right. So this whole area in the middle would be the lumen, and then sitting inside of the lumen is what's this? It's like a big clump of sperm, right? Remember, the epididymis can store sperm for like 3 months, and it's in the epididymis where the sperm mature and they learn how to swim basically inside the epididymis. Okay. What you're not seeing on this slide is the stereocilia, which sit. I think you got to go into a little bit higher magnification. I think I put it up here. Yeah. So again, notice the nice sharp edge. And then you have these little hairs coming off of it. Those hairs are the stereocilia. They're actually not cilia, like most cilia can move. Okay, these guys don't actually move, but what they do is they help absorb, they help increase the surface area for absorption. So sperm that haven't been ejaculated, like in 3 months, they die off, and those little stereocilia help absorb the dead sperm parts. What's this? This is seminiferous tubules. Notice, this part in the middle would be the lumen, but there's not a sharp edge at all. Okay? And the reason for that is because basically these are your sperm that are developing, and they start on the outside as the spermatogonia, and then they become primary spermatocytes second, and they work their way inward, and once they become to the inner edge, they just sort of fall off. So it gives you a very ragged border. Okay, you don't see a nice, sharply defined border like you see with the epididymis.
Do we have seminiferous tubule slide or no? 'Cause I don't think I saw
It would say it just said testy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just
Okay,
said
gotcha.
testy. Okay, so one of these whole things would be a seminiferous tubule. The sperm, if you had mature sperm, you'd see it someplace in the lumen, right? As you go farther out to the edge, you're getting more and more immature. You're going towards the spermatogonia. So if you're going to see any mature sperm, they should be somewhere around the middle. Do I see a nice sperm up here that's easy to identify? No, but that's where it should be. The other thing too is when you make these slides, junk can get pressed together and it can be tough to see. All right, I got to hurry up. Somebody's going to come in here any second. More seminiferous tubule. Just wanted to show you very sort of raggedy borders. What are these? Sperm. Enough said. What's this?
Penis.
Yeah, this is the penis. Okay, it looks like the alien face. All right. These are the 2 corpora cavernosa. They fill up with blood. They're erectile tissue. This tissue around here is the corpus spongiosum, and then the thing in the middle is the urethra. All right. It's specifically, if I ask you about it, it's the penile urethra, or you can call it the spongy urethra. Okay. What's this?
Penis is on.
It's a penis on its side, right? Penises can be on their side. Don't freak out if you see a slide that's ever twisted, right? This is still a penis, even though it's on its side, right? Corpora cavernosa, corpus spongiosum, penile urethra. All right, what's this? This is the uterus, okay? Everything from here up would be endometrium. Okay? These are endometrial glands. Everything from like here to here is myometrium, which is thick muscle. And then this very thin edge that you see here would be the perimetrium, which is really just part of the visceral peritoneum that you have covering organs in the abdomen. Okay? More of the uterus. This is a close-up of the endometrium. Okay? Down here would be a little bit of myometrium. You know, this is a higher magnification. But from here on over is the endometrium. All these little circular things, these are endometrial glands. And the other reason why I put this up is this shows the difference between the stratum functionalis and the stratum basalis. Stratum functionalis, that's what gets lost with each menstrual period. That's the lighter staining thing, okay? The stratum basalis, I know it's subtle, but the stratum basalis is darker staining. So like this area, see how it's a little bit darker purple than the other areas? That would be stratum basalis. It sticks around to help rebuild the lining after the menstrual period. This is even, I think, more pronounced. That's why I put it up here. But you can see this area where it's darker staining would be the stratum basalis. Everything on up would be the stratum functionalis. Where's this from? This is ovary. Okay, you're going to see lots of follicles when you look at the ovary in different stages of development. Most of these small guys are primordial follicles. Okay. If you have a thickening of the wall, like you see here, okay, or over here, or over there, those are primary follicles, okay, a little bit larger. This here is the oocyte. That's the nucleus of the oocyte, and these are the granulosa cells that are surrounding there. Note what don't you see yet? You don't see an antrum. You don't see this fluid-filled cavity called the antrum. If you go over here, on the other hand, one would represent lots and lots of primordial follicles. By the way, I don't think you even have to identify those, but that's what they'd look like. Two would represent another primary follicle. And then over here, this would be like a secondary follicle. Notice number 4 is that antrum I was talking about. The follicle starts filling up with fluid. As it does, the granulosa cells start pulling apart, and you get this fluid-filled cavity called the antrum. All right? Five would be the oocyte, right? And specifically kind of the clear, I don't think you have to know it, but the clear layer right there would be the zona pellucida, and the cells that are still hanging on would be the corona radiata. Okay? I think that's it. Any questions about this stuff? Number 2, I think the whole thing is a primary follicle. I think the part in the middle would be an oocyte, so it would be a primary oocyte.